No, yes, ma'am. Okay, we are live and we're about 5 minutes late. And if anyone tuned in, we are at the Perry County Courthouse. Before we get started, let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Before we do that, I do have some changes I'd like to make. For the, under approval of the minutes, I just listed A, B, and C. I'd like to list A, B, and C for the different meeting minutes so we can approve those. Also, I would like to change number 5 to TIFF balances. And you don't have to write it down. If you guys approve this, I'll give you a agenda. Okay. Under number 6, I'd like to add notice of deficiency amount for Wapaka TIFF. And number 7, Baker Tilly invoice. I'm sorry, number 7 will be TIFF neutralization. Number 8 would be Baker Tilly invoice. And then number 9, we move down to discussion of Baker Tilly advisory group. So I have a motion to approve as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, the agenda is approved. Did you say one? No. Please. Okay, forward. Second is a communication from the public saying that no one else is here. We'll move forward to number 3, approval of the minutes from past meetings. David has emailed out the meeting minutes that we need to approve. Under item A, we have the minutes of the meeting from March 23rd. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in
Fine
favor?
job.
I have copies.
Fine job.
Fine job.
I
Okay.
have copies of those here if anybody wants them.
Thank you.
Well,
I got the email on it, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so approval of the minutes from the March 30th meeting. Do I have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mandy, second by Pat. Any discussion?
Fine job, David.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, approval of the minutes from the April 27th meeting. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Pat, second by Mandy. Any discussion? Come on, Pat.
Fine job, David.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, next item is Forest Canton Heights, and I'm just going to turn this section over. All of this.
Okay, I passed out a little diagram. I don't know if everybody has one or not, just a lecture here, but, since I've sold an additional 3 lots. Lot number 15, lot number 20, and lot number 13. All are developers that will be building in the future. So that's good news, I thought, which leaves us remaining of, I think, 11 that remain. So we are over 50%.
Actually, yes, we sold 16. Right. That's great.
I think that's all good news. So,
What was those numbers you said you sold?
15, 20, and 13. And I've marked that would be Saucer, Smith, and Arnold. You see that here? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I put their names above it, just so everybody just so it's curious. Public record there a little bit, so.
No, no, Mandy, I don't.
Or make an error.
No, when this was first being laid out, originally,
Yeah.
26 and 27 were actually gonna be a park.
Oh.
But we struggled because once they're all full, we're out of it.
Right, maintenance.
Getting someone to maintain it. So I think 26 and 27 become a struggle. That could still be something presented to the landowners there.
I think those are the only two that, like you said, may potentially be a little less favorable as far as a building spot, but
That's why we
yeah.
originally talked
Yeah.
about that when Kenny was signing it. Just something everybody keep in
Yeah,
the
I
back
have
of
to
their
think
heads.
about down the road.
If they struggle down the road, release it and meet with all the people who live there and say, hey, what do you guys think? Are you all willing, or gardens spot for everybody that lives there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Something to think about.
yeah, I
We
mean.
have to grab something on that, figure out what that looks like, but yeah.
And I would think 27 would be a nice lot, because you've got that land in front of it, that no one owns.
I have a question, Mandy. You got lot 21, 9055 Walter Tail Lane, lot 21, 9050 Walter Tail Lane.
That's probably just an error, I'd say, because that should be 20 and 21, this is not from the original, this was drafted, so that lot numbers.
So that's the lot that sold that lot 20?
Right, lot 19, yeah.
But also, I'd like to make a comment, and I don't know who to make it to, but Julie and I drove down there, and as you turn in, the pool area, dry pond looks horrible, and then there's also all that right along that, drive there. I don't know if that's Swiss Road. I don't know. I can't read schematics, but they're taller than my car.
Swiss Road, where else on Swiss Road?
As soon as you turn in left, it's immediately on your right.
Is that the retention pond?
It's before the detention pond, it's right along the roadway, right on the
It's
street.
where the thing is that has this in it, and I said, who?
That's the retention pond.
You got the retention pond, and then you have an adjoining land. The way I see the survey. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I haven't really pulled this up on the GIS, but this is a survey from it. We go back and see if I have another original. Because that other thing was just a generic.
I will look at the retention pond. I was supposed to do it, I've had a lot going on with work, so.
It did look pretty good, I thought, right, it grows back pretty fast.
Is it Johnson grass? Is it Johnson grass?
Yeah, a lot of it probably.
I don't
And
know.
I'll report back to you.
There's a
Kind of
lot
looks
of,
like it did at the very beginning of the year, right now.
there was a lot of saplings in there, like sycamores. I just put them down a little bit. So that's probably why they wasn't clear, they were, that's another land.
But other than that, I mean, that's great. So, I mean,
The contractor we have for the lawn service is doing a great job. Mowing after lots.
Okay, I'm gonna see if we can maybe name this, so. I don't know where she's looking from, but Old State Road in Swiss is what we're talking about right here.
So if you come in here and you turn right here to the left.
it's,
These neither one are ours to my knowledge. So that's.
it's right there before that.
So when you turn.
Oh.
Is it to the left or to the right?
It's to the right.
So this is not us either.
Right as soon as you
This
turn
one,
left.
this one, and then this is Swiss Road as you're turning in there, and that's just to the right.
One to the left looks like Berry County Hospital,
And this is a independent landowner. And then the retention pond is up a little bit further at the intersection more.
Okay, so that's not on.
it's not
Forest
our
County.
property, right? Okay.
If that helps. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for pointing that out.
Randy, did you want to speak on Comcast as well?
Comcast. So I thought at, I believe our last meeting, when we had approved Comcast to continue on where they had started, to bring service to potentially landowners in that subdivision. I thought that was the last remaining statement that was needed. We did have Harry
Dixon.
Yeah, he had reached out, he reached out to us and sent us an email also for, he sent us an electric line right away. He's saying that Southern Indiana Power is needing this in order for them to participate in that. Is that, you might know more on that one, because I don't, is there any other?
Right away is for all utilities.
That was my understanding, so I don't know what this is. This is something drafted and I'll pass this to you too. This is what he emailed us. It says,
So they were
You
saying,
can talk to REC and find out.
they were saying Southern Indiana Power was requiring them to have us give them a right of way for that.
well, I mean, this is naming them.
Okay, so we would have to go back to the original documents, but that right of way that was designed into by Kenny was for all public utilities. Nobody, there was no exceptions.
That was my understanding of it.
That's correct. There's no exceptions for anybody.
I don't understand what this is drafted, but he's stating, and they're mentioned in here, Southern Indiana Power is, he's stating that Southern Indiana Power is requiring them to do this in order for them to allow anything additional, so. That was my understanding of that email. Is that correct, Sherry? I mean,
Yeah, that's what my understanding.
Have you reached out to REC yet?
I actually forwarded that to them and I've not heard anything back. I do think that it did, part of my email must have blocked how they're is set up, so I did not follow back up on that particular email, but I did forward this to question them, but.
You want me to go down there tomorrow? Talk to them?
Yeah, just see, I don't know.
Can I have that when you're done?
Absolutely.
I think it's in the email, correct?
It is in the email also, but I don't know if they actually received, because it doesn't really say,
To be out of town tomorrow, so I'll do it before I leave town.
but I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know
Reach
why,
out to everybody.
why that would be something that's needed. I feel
Because it's not
like,
exclusive for anybody, but
correct, and I
it
know
may be
that,
because how close to get to that underground.
maybe, but I
Maybe
don't,
misunderstanding.
I don't know. I did also have, let's see, someone with Comcast, because there's another third-party servicer for their company as well, but they actually reached out, not relevant to this particular board, but another board that I sit on, they reached out to our office for building and zoning and questioned extending the permit for them to go out there for Comcast, and I said, well, we don't, as a county, we're not permitting, that's actually city, and they're saying city is not sending them to us, so I don't know.
We are within that
It's
2
just,
miles.
correct,
inclusion zone.
correct. Tell City of Tell City and Steve Gibson has permitted all of the building sites on their county does not. So they would also build, I don't understand why they're reaching back out to us to do it, so. Especially since they gave it to them in the first place, they're not asking for an extension. They've been permitted it once, and then they're asking for an extension, and now they won't give them an extension, they're saying we need to get with us on that. Or the county building and zoning, so that didn't make any sense, so there's a few little hiccupy things I think that people are getting,
Mixed up.
yeah, we'll just use that. Maybe a little confused, or I don't, maybe there's even some confusion on which board they thought they were trying to seek, I don't know, but we're not trying to prevent anybody from building out there. I don't know why Comcast is becoming a little bit, everybody's meeting them with some issues.
A lot of
Must be some history, but we're not aware of.
Something,
It's not what we do
Something.
for a living.
no, so I don't know, so they're hitting walls again, even after we've approved them, so go ahead and proceed, so I don't know why, but Southern Indiana will be the one. Comcast, as far as extension goes, and I think I forwarded that back to them, for the county, we do not permit, that's within that city 2 mile jurisdiction, they actually haven't received all of the permit fees for everything out there so far, so. I don't know,
bring that up tomorrow.
Okay, that'd be good just to
One of the
see,
guys are available, if not, I'll just have to work around their schedule.
see what's happening there, but, you know, I don't know, Comcast keeps getting run into the block walls, so. You don't want that to be a problem, especially if any other, you know, homeowners out there now that are living there want that service, I would hate to make that a problem for them.
And they did send that, as you see, they wanted me to sign that, and I indicated that I couldn't sign it without board approval, but I don't feel like we should do that without, I don't think they need it, in my opinion, but.
Can we maybe, if that is needed as part of step 2 for them to come in there, since we won't have don't wanna have another special meeting for that particular item,
Yeah.
can we maybe motion to do that in the event they actually need that as part of the process that I'm not aware of? I didn't realize they had to have that. So if
Please
they
make
need
that
that we can maybe go ahead and approve that to be signed. And that's just a toothpaste,
That's kind of how we did with John. People would come and see John and the board
right,
voted to let John go ahead and do that because
for easements and things of that nature. We're not
That's
looking to
good.
change anything, just allowing. Okay.
Yeah, I'll call for a motion. Yeah, do you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, yeah, to approve or for Sherry to sign the utility easement for Comcast to allow them out there if that's necessary.
Do we have a second?
Second that.
Motion by Mandy, second by David, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes 4-0. All right, anything else as far as Canton Heights?
Nice homes, yeah, they're about to wrap up that one, I know they've had something else, inside was nice, both of those. And there's another one that just sold as well for another developer, so. Very, seems like it's doing well.
Okay, moving on to item 5, which is TIF balances. Our TIF allocation fund, our balance is $450,970.75. TIF 3, which is Wapaka, is $3,191,817.95. TIF 4, which is Webb Will, $328,226.34. And TIF 5, which is Riverview West, $4,741.61. Did you pass that down to David? One
It's
thing.
down right here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so, one thing I did want to point out, as we move along with Forest Camp that we were just talking about, just so in case someone's keeping track or wanting to know, just this year so far, and the last payout was made July 6th, so we do have more that are coming here on our payments for lawn service has been $4,050. So our lawn service is quite expensive for them. Hopefully that will go down as building begins on those other lots that are sold. So I plan to get in contact with Mr. Coyle and ask him that question, but I was wanting to ask the board how you feel about that. I know the lots are sold, but construction hasn't begun. Do we continue to service those lots and mow them?
If they're sold,
they're
the
sold,
ownership
they're no
has
So
longer
to.
the new owner should be mowing them.
Correct. If the new owner has, which those deeds have already been recorded, so the minute basically they bring in the check, I take it straight over and handle that and be recorded, so those should be all transferred as the ownership and they're to maintain them to city specs, like everything else.
Okay,
Not us.
so I'll contact Mr. Coyle and, make sure that he knows that those lots, and I'm
That should be
sure,
getting reduced then.
yes, so because he wouldn't know if we don't notify him
Right.
of that, and then hopefully maybe our bill will go down just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm realizing less.
Yeah, so, okay. And all of that comes out of the, state allocation fund.
courthouse.
I'm sorry, yeah, courthouse, which is called, for whatever reason, that's called the TIF allocation fund. And the fund is called that, but it's actually the courthouse TIF that came out of.
Something else I kind of failed to mention earlier, when we're talking about Comcast, now that we've sold these 3, what we have been doing is initiating them to pay them for our portion to the hospital. We did that last time.
You're talking about,
What we owe for the hospital, you know.
right, and we said we would pay that as we go.
Yes.
As we go.
So I
just-
made a note to contact, our auditor and have her pay
Correct.
the hospital. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the sum should be 30,000 for 3 lots, is that correct? Is it 10,000 or 5,000 per lot?
I will have to pull my notes because I
I'll pull
have
my
that
notes,
schedule.
I'll make sure if
Every
I'm
time,
incorrect,
so-
I will go back and look at the minutes. But
If
I
that's
will
correct.
authorize her to pay or ask her. And we did make a motion at a previous meeting that we would pay those as we go rather than
Yes.
waiting.
Yes, just, make sure.
Thank you for the reminder, I appreciate it. Okay. All right, item 6, notice of deficiency amount, Wolcott TIFF. So we did have a deficiency with Wolcott TIFF. And we did send out a letter to Wolcott. I have the letter here if anybody wants to see it. I would be happy to email that to everyone if you'd like to see it. We did have Baker Tilly prepare that for us. And the deficiency amount was $25,542.48. I did contact the auditor today, and as of today, that has not yet been paid, so she's going to reach back out to Otaka. And it could just be caught in a billing cycle, is what I was thinking. So she's just gonna make notice again, just to make sure.
And we'll run an additional payment again in November. That's similar out, right?
It should be,
Should be
yes.
about.
Yes, should be, yes. And
While we're on Wapaka, with the amount that's in the TIF and the bond, we haven't met since March. April, oh yes, April. What about paying that bond off?
Can we push that down just to 9A on the remaining debts?
Okay.
Someone
Sure,
discussed
yeah.
that as well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, then, sorry, hang on just a minute. Yes, will you pass that one to David so he's got the numbers there? I'm trying to take care of you, David. Sorry, in case you look at that in a minute. Okay, item 7 would be the TIF neutralization. I printed that out. There it is. So each year we're required to do a TIF neutralization report, and that is done in coordination. Baker Tilly does that normally and sends that to our auditor, and she submits that for us. I just wanted everyone to know that that was submitted, and the Commissioner of the Department of Local Government Finance signed that on July 9th, 2026, and so it's just showing that everything's zeroed out. And so if anybody wants a copy of that, I can email it. If everybody's okay, rather than just telling me what you want a copy of, I'd like to can I just shoot you all of these documents? If you don't want them, trash them. If you want them, that way everybody has
Did
them.
you need this back?
No, I've got another copy. So, okay, any questions on that?
Is this something we do every year?
It's something we do every year.
Is that normally due June 15th or I think something else?
I believe it's due July 15th. It may be June 15th. I'm not sure. I just know that it was signed by the Commissioner of the DLF on July 9th, and that was sent out. You're correct. That was sent out the end of May. So I think it is June 15th.
Yeah.
You're correct. Okay, item 8 is Baker Tilly invoice, so we're gonna need approval to pay this. This was one thing we probably shouldn't have put up our meetings, but we did. But these are for their service. Recall in April, they came to do a report for us, and then they answered some questions for us, which we'll get down to in item 9. And their bill is $10,145, which is normally paid for out of the TIF allocation fund. I need a motion to approve requesting the auditor to pay this bill.
Is that something annually this time that I'm saying?
It's annually. Last year, I looked it up, and last year it was like $7,500, and it's more this year. So I guess the comment I want to make is with these TIFs, we're going to incur this bill every year as long as we have TIFs. And I know that we talk about, with TIFs, well, let's just keep them in case we ever need them. Well, there is cost to keeping them. And when we get down to it, WAPA's going to be gone, whether we dissolve it now or not, it'll be gone within a year anyway. So what we have remaining is one other TIF, which we don't bring in this much money to pay a bill for this. And, I've noticed as the TIFs have gone off, looking back at the amounts, the bill's really pretty much the same regardless of how many TIFs we have, because the entire report has to be done, and a lot of it is paying for them to come down here and, to gather all the data, and it doesn't really matter if we have one or six, it's gonna take time to retrieve that data. So anyway, back on topic, do I have a motion to approve paying Baker Tilly for services rendered?
I'll make that motion. We have to do it.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Motion by David, second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. And, David, here's a copy of that bill. Okay, item 9 is a discussion of Baker Tilly Advisory Group from the April report and the findings. Did everybody get a copy of an email of the report? I know we handed them out, but some people wanted an email. We sent that out. Did everybody get that? It's been a while. You want me to include that with the documents I emailed?
Was that the one you got a hard copy?
Yeah, we got a hard copy. I think Kelly and somebody else maybe have wanted an electronic copy, but.
Yes.
Okay. So, one thing I do want to report is that, we had asked them some questions, and we're going to get back to this. And one of the questions we had asked was whether we could pay EMS operating expenses. And I will forward this email if I haven't it already. But, so we did get a report back from Jason, and he said that he confirmed with Heather James at Eismiller that EMS operating expenses are not allowed under the police and fire statute. I think Kelly had asked that question because of.
I think he was thinking that.
Right. So.
Key words are operating.
Operating is the key word. So those are not allowed. Right. Okay, so that was one. Here, if you can give that to David. So he's got the one. Okay. All right, another thing we had asked him about was Tell City Troy Township Schools, which we'll talk about here on 9B. Heather James at Eismiller confirmed that you can use TIF funds from TIF areas that have ended. Remember we asked about TIFs that have ended. You can use funds from TIF areas that have ended so long as you otherwise follow the 15% school statute copied below. So we can use those funds for the school corporation, so long as we follow the 15% statute. And from what I read, a commission may not spend more than 15% of the allocated tax proceedings it receives on an annual basis to fund a program described under subsection B, which is when we're talking about school corporations. So, and educational programs and work training. So no more than 15% of the allocated proceeds that we receive on an annual basis. On a TIF that is ended. David, you're gonna sit here for a while.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we originally were at 100 and something thousand. For those who don't know, the school would usually get between 120,000 a year. Then we stopped it for 3 years. And the thoughts from the corporation was to concentrate that money, everything that redevelopment would need to take care of Forest Canton. Forest Canton is up and going, and then I came back with a request of 120,000 plus. Then we looked at what we could take care of, and then our last bond issue, and we've shaved it down to approximately 32,000 from 130 plus. And that is only to update the access control system for both William Tell and Kelsey Junior Senior High. That is outdated, no longer supported. So that's an update. That's where we were at.
Yes, and I do believe that we needing approved paying for that so long as we were legally able to do so.
Yes,
And this consult with attorneys and with Baker Tilly. So what we had talked about was paying that, we talked about different funds, but you know, now we have some new information about being able to use funds from a TIF that is already been dissolved. And
Prior, it was why it was going, not to interrupt, but just
No,
so
go
that prior, we had to, previous board members had approved a letter that was updated like every 3 years, but that's when the TIF was going.
when the
And
TIF
now it has changed because the TIF is dissolved, or that's TIF.
correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that paid out of the web will TIF? Anybody?
I think it was.
I think it was paid out of the web will TIF, and the web will is dissolved, but we still have funds.
I think you are correct.
So I'm looking for suggestions.
Have we heard from the attorney? I mean, I know we heard from Baker Tilly, but has the attorney?
Yeah,
Give us a
well,
go ahead.
originally, I mean, that was way back before we had this information. I'm thinking we go back and ask Baker Tilly again. Not again, but ask them, what is the easiest way? Tell them the exact amount we want to pay. And I know this is gonna be another fee, but it's gonna be another fee. They're the experts on TIFs. The best way to pay this out with the least amount of paperwork. And then once we get that answer, we go to our attorney and make sure that our attorney is okay with that.
now
Now, somebody tell me if you have a better way, please, because this is all new to me.
I disagree, because he sidestepped whenever we were asking for the money.
I know.
But that's why he went,
Back
that's
there.
why he talked to their legal experts, and their legal experts came back with how it is now.
How it is. And what do you think I should do in reverse? Ask our attorney. And the reason I said Baker Tilly first is because they're the TIF experts.
I feel like an attorney needs to give it okay. It's I think over our head on some of this.
Oh, most definitely. That's why if we get an answer for Baker Tilly that says, well, this is the way you can do it with the least amount of paperwork, I would then want to get approval from our attorney. And if there's any documents that need to be generated, those would need to come from the attorney.
I would think reaching out to the attorney is what we need to do, but I mean, it sounds like Baker Tilly was acting like that, as long as it didn't hit our.
Okay.
I mean, I think our attorney needs to stamp this off, but.
So only ask the attorney then?
I don't know, I mean,
I agree,
I
because
don't
that's
know,
what
I just think you're gonna get the
Baker
same
Tilly's
answer from Baker Tilly.
legal expert says. Ask the attorney, showing
Well,
what
part
Baker
of my
Tilly is doing.
question is, when it talks about the 15% of allocated funds, what are we talking about with allocated funds? Allocated funds for that particular TIF? Because if that's the case, the annual allocated funds from that TIF is zero. And which would mean we would need to take it from a different TIF. Or is it the allocated funds from all TIFs? And see, those
There you
are
go, that's why
questions.
you send
That's
it
why
to
we
the
can
attorney.
ask those
I
questions.
think an attorney.
Everybody okay with me
I
asking
think
those
it's-
questions?
I think it's per TIF.
It's per TIF.
For TIFs.
That's why I think it is.
It's obvious we want to do this, I just want to do it the right way. Without
Send it
getting,
to the attorney, get an
Okay.
answer,
everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
and then we'll know for other stuff too.
absolutely. Okay, so our remaining TIFs, if you looked at the Baker Tilly report, we have 2 remaining TIFs. We have the Wapaka TIF and we have the Riverview West. Riverview West is yet to be used. He did locate the document on the Riverview West TIF. And, just so everyone knows, and again, I'll forward this, is that the parcels that belong to that, there are only 7 parcels in the Riverview West. One of those parcels is owned by Wapaka. We have 3 of those parcels that are owned by Northern Perry County Development. We have 2 of those parcels that are owned by Perry County Development Authority. And 1 is owned by Perry County PCBC. And so if you look in here as, you know, when they established this TIF back in 2015 is when it was established. And again, as I read those balances, very little money has been taken in. And they established, you know, what they were to do. I'm looking for the right page here. What they were to do with this project. We've not done any of this. And we're not really supposed to have TIFs that just sit there waiting. A TIF is supposed to be developed for a particular purpose and used for that purpose, and we've not done it. And as far as I know, I've not been notified by the commission or the council that there are plans for Riverview West. And as I said before, we have to continue to, unless I don't have the expertise to produce those annual reports like Baker Tilly does for us. We will have to continue to incur those fees. David, do you have that list of TIF balances there? It should be on the very right there. If you look at Riverview West, our entire ending balance of that is $4,741.61. This was established in 2015. This is all we have in it. We're only taking in a pittance every year. We can't even pay for 1 report of this, and this is 11 years of the TIF. I'm looking for input as to what people think about this TIF.
And we were to check to see if there were any projects scheduled in the foreseeable future.
I've not been notified of any, and those would from the parcels, and what was to be done to this was quite a bit. So I mean, I would have to notify the commissioners that we are dissolving this. It's still unclear. We asked Baker Tilly that question, and we didn't really get a response as to whether we have the authority to dissolve that, or if once we vote, if we were to vote to dissolve that, if the commissioners would need to approve that.
You looking for an opinion?
I'm looking for opinions from you
Here's
guys
my
as to what
opinion.
you want to do with this.
I don't, after speaking with commissioners and virtually everyone in the council, I do not believe that anyone that's here at this meeting or the other member that's not here, or the commissioners or the council, have a problem starting up a new TIF. If there is a purpose, I believe everyone here understands how important it is.
Yes.
So my opinion is it's been sitting idle for 11 years. If we maintain it, we know it's going to be 10 grand a year to maintain it. 11 years of income from that TIF has brought us in $4,000. To me, it seems like a wise financial decision to dissolve it, because we're going to dissolve Wapaka one way or another. It's being paid off, so it will be gone. That's my opinion.
Anybody else?
I think we need input from our commissioners and our council.
I do too, but there's a point where we need to go ahead and dissolve this if we're going to pretty quickly this year to get away with not doing a report next year. And that being said, it might not be a bad idea if we agree that we vote to dissolve the TIF now and then find out.
At that last meeting, Jason said the commission needs to determine if there are any plans to expand in the near future.
And we've never been told that there are.
Who do we talk to find that out?
Well, I believe the commissioners would need to inform the RDC if that's the case. And we've not, I
RTL
asked
Solutions,
before.
they've been reached out to, so there you go. We need to hear from our council, our commissions, and RJO Solutions, if I'm saying that correctly.
Okay, so I'm trying to find a workaround for this. If we send one last notice and say our intent is to dissolve it to all of these agencies, the commissioners, the council, RJL Solutions. And if there are no pending projects, but what I'm telling you guys, if we're gonna meet, and you guys, I encourage everyone to go out there and read Indiana code. But if we are to meet Indiana code, just saying, oh, we might do this, is not a good, it's not a plan. That does not meet the spirit of the law for TIFs. There has to be a plan. And if there's not a plan, there's no reason for the TIF. And if there might be one 5 years from now, great, establish a TIF from now. And I know there's a cost to establishing a TIF, but
keeping it too.
there's a cost to keeping it as well. And I just feel that continuing to collect money, though, although it's not much, that should be going to the other taxing entities is not right if we don't have a project. We've done this for 11 years.
Did we dissolve some other TIFs?
We have, yes, we have.
I think we're gonna dissolve it because it's costing us money and it's just sitting there. We could get in trouble for it just sitting there not being used.
I don't think so.
Someone would have to push it, but
Right.
honestly, I mean, I really believe that we're not meeting the intent of the law.
What was the process when that was dissolved previously?
We just voted to dissolve it.
We voted to dissolve it.
It's simple.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had a special meeting.
And Baker Tilly did that paperwork for us.
They did that.
Yes, they did that paperwork for us.
I
And
think
that's
we
all we
need to
have.
reach out to the relevant elected officials and RJO.
That's what I wondered, if like a special meeting or what we need to do.
That's what I think we need to do.
I'm
I'm
not allowed
gonna
to
reach out.
vote, but I will make I am allowed to make a motion.
Yes, you are.
So I am asking to make a motion to reach out to the relevant elected officials and RJO Solutions one last time to see if there is any plans for the Riverview West property. Or for that matter, anyone in the public. Do they know of anything? One last time before we vote to dissolve. There you go.
Second it.
Have a motion
I'll second that.
by Tony, and we had a second by Pat already.
You're bad.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I would like to, on the back of that, I don't think we need to wait until August meeting. If the answer is no, we need to vote to dissolve it. We're gonna end up paying again on this if we don't. I mean, we need to have to do this within a week.
Okay, so set another meeting date.
It was gonna wait.
And then maybe Kelly can, she will be out of town and then she can be here for that.
Right.
I understand she had work obligations, so.
Is everybody available Monday, next Monday at 5 o'clock? If the room is available? And we have our answers?
You're saying August 3rd?
Yes.
We already have at 5 o'clock, a special meeting, health-wise that's posted. Or different, I do know that.
Or different at 5 o'clock, make it 6. Say 6 or 6:30
I'm looking
maybe,
to
or
see.
4, could you meet at 4, Pat? Yeah. Could we do 4 o'clock? Because this meeting won't take long, or 4:30.
No, it won't.
We could do 4:30 if that is helpful to everyone who's working
I
around.
agree. Monday, August the
3rd
3rd at 4:30.
4:30, is
that
that okay
commission?
with everyone? Now, I'll keep in contact with you and let you know. I will have to contact the auditor's office and make sure that we're on the schedule and get this set up. And then when tonight when I send that email out to those organizations that we talked about, I'll let them know that we plan to vote on it at this time. Is everybody okay with that? Yes.
Bring everybody in the loop.
Okay, August 3rd at 4:30. Okay. So that is Riverview West. Now, Tony, since we're on that already, let's talk about what you had brought up with dissolving Wapaka. Go ahead.
Well, I know it was, I believe, not going back on the minutes that we had discussed, we have the money to pay off Wapaka's, the bond for Wapaka, which will in turn save Wapaka money. And we were just waiting and we haven't had a meeting. And I guess we need to look at Jason should have that, the balance, and Jason discussed that with us. It was advantageous for everybody.
It's in his report. The report.
So we have the funds. There was no penalty to pay the bond off.
He was saying it would save us 10,000, but then you lose the
I was gonna
50,000.
say, there was another catch to that.
That's what it
Losing
was.
some extra funding that we couldn't,
You-
if
you
we
look
dissolved it
this-
early.
So we don't need it
No,
because our bond's paid off.
it helps with pocket.
What it does is it gives us, as the RDC, extra money as the county money, but it helps Wapaka. Wapaka with paying it off.
And I think that's a pretty noble thing if we can pay it off early and save them money too. Then we won't be asking for a balloon payment of 25,000 and there's not enough money to meet the obligation.
Correct.
Why would we not pay a debt off when we have the money? Again, if we have no other issue.
Right, we
Say
voted
that
against
again?
this, sorry.
It's because of the 50.
Yeah, say this out loud.
Sorry, I was just making sure the meetings, I was trying to think.
It would save us 10,000 in interest, and then, but we would be losing the 50,000 that we would gain from Wapaka. But Tony's saying, well, you're giving Wapaka a favor by,
Correct.
you know, it won't save us the 50,000, but it saves Wapaka.
It saves Wapaka 50,000.
So you're doing
They
it.
pay a pretty hefty tax bill as it is.
I just know it was brought up at the last meeting or that I recall, so I was asking him on the meeting minutes, is because forgive my ignorance if that's not what it was said, but I thought it was just because we didn't want to miss out on
On the extra funding in the fall, I think, or something, was it?
What are our plans for that extra funding? That's my
Well, the
question.
purpose of a TIF is to provide infrastructure
Mhm.
for development, pay the bonds off, and then let all the taxing entities enjoy the fruits of the TIF.
Correct.
We have a chance to pay it off. And instead of collecting that money, it will go to all the relevant taxing entities, not just excess into the development. Sorry, that's how I feel. That's the letter, that's the spirit of the TIF.
And I agree, Tony, that's my problem with the Riverview West. It's
I
the same
understand.
thing. If we can pay this off, I mean, I understand it brings extra money into our accounts, but that extra money is money that could be going to the
School,
taxing
to
entities.
library, to
Police
fire, to the
department, fire
county, to the
department.
city, and say, well,
So, we do not have this on the agenda. And that being said, I'm not gonna ask anybody to vote on something not on the agenda. I would like to add that to the agenda for our August 3rd special meeting.
Sure.
That gives everyone a week to review it and see what your thoughts are. And we'll just have those two items. Should be pretty quick. We'll know the answer to the Riverview West by then. And it'll be a simple vote. Either someone will make a motion to go ahead and pay off that, or no one will make a motion and it will fail, and if it proceeds, we'll take our vote. Is that okay with everyone?
Absolutely.
All right, we had talked about when Baker Tilly was here, the fact that we should probably establish a new account. All of our bills, which mainly are the TIF allocation fund, which, as Tony indicated, was the courthouse TIF. And all of our bills, we just pay out of that fund. And that's not really what we're supposed to do with funding from the TIFs. And so I just wanted approval from you guys to allow our auditor to create a new account that we put the money that we're taking in from Forest Canton, put that into that account, pay our bills from Forest Canton out of that account. We'll have more than enough to do that with the money from the we would need to transfer over the money from the settled lots that we have. If you pay in the hospital, that would come out of that account. What we're doing is we're taking it out of a TIF account, and we don't have a domestic property TIF out there. That's not what we have. We don't have a housing TIF out there. So having a separate fund that we can pay out of. You guys remember we asked Jason that question? We have a separate account
For accounting purposes.
for accounting purposes, and we don't have to. We've been doing it all this time. No one's ever called us out on it. It's whatever.
I think it would be a good idea to have a separate account.
I think it would be too.
Clearly seeing where everything's coming from.
I would
Be
need a
exclusive
motion.
just for that,
Just
Forest Canton.
Yes.
We're
For Forest Canton.
make it easier.
And
Follow.
you guys, if we do end up, whether we dissolve these TIFs or not, or dissolve Wapaka early or not, next year it's gonna be paid off. And if we dissolve Riverview West, we don't need these other accounts. We should have a Forest Canton account. That will be our sole purpose at that point, will be Forest Canton. Because, unless and until the commissioners decide they want to establish a new TIF. So,
I make a motion that we make a new account for the Forest Canton.
do we have a second? I'll second it. Motion by Pat, second by me. All those, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, final item is Tell City Schools project. And we kind of talked about this already, didn't we?
We're waiting to hear,
Wait,
to make sure from an attorney that we are doing the correct thing.
and the easiest way to do it with the least amount of paperwork.
If it
Where did
passes, it passes, don't. At least we'll know, because this isn't the only thing. We got other stuff we're talking about doing too.
Okay,
So that's to be lined up for future,
Excess funds too,
absolutely.
or just
And we will, just
do a
so we know.
percentage and give it to all the
taxing entities.
Yes, and we do have funds in our other accounts, and I encourage everyone to go through and read Indiana code on what we're supposed to be doing with those funds when we dissolve, and when we dissolve the TIF, when we dissolve other TIFs, but we have the Forest Canton project. But this is done. I mean, do we have another project? Are we returning this money to the taxing entities?
You just gotta remember the last paving, final paving, we gotta consider that, and
Continue
the
to
legal
mow.
fees, mowing, the paving, and then that'll be it out there.
And that'll be it.
But on the Forest Canton paving, was that something, was it 50%? How did you guys originally talk about
Well,
80% is what we said.
Yeah, and what they were gonna try to do is, we got the base down, and the base is holding up excellent.
Yes.
because it was compacted and it was done right. And then I can remember Randy, Commissioner Cole was here, and he said, maybe we can throw that in when we do something in that area. But we're not there yet. So kind of toss up right now.
And I think that originally, you guys, because we asked this before, I think that, it was 80% of the lots were sold, that we would put the glass coat on. And we can amend that if you all want to, if there's a, we can, so we put that top coat on whenever we wanted. The intent to leave it off until some more of the homes were built was to keep the heavy equipment from destroying their road out there. Okay, any other discussion? Anybody have any other comments? Okay. All right, our next meeting then will be August 3rd at 4:30 in this room, unless I notify you otherwise. If it is already booked with the auditor, we'll have to change it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
4:30, correct?
4:30. Thank you.